like I talked about my background, where I was coming from, you won't expect that somebody coming from a animal health and then to public health and then to project management. It's a long story. So, and I know some of us like that, we can just keep doubting ourselves. I'm coming from this place, I'm coming from that place, I'm trying to switch into this. You can do it. Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, I think it's coming in late. All right, good, 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 good. Let's dive in. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. This is a much anticipated section, and it's good to have you here. I'm excited to be doing this live with you on LinkedIn today. LinkedIn Live is something some of us dreaded. I've done it a couple of times and it still feels strange. Doing it again. Yeah, good to have you here. So again, I'm trying to use stream it at the same time so that we can hear ourselves clearly. If you're able to hear me, like I said, just drop a message of where you're chatting and tell us your location. Yeah, calling from Glasgow. All right. Good, good, good. We're going to be doing some transitioning thing. So in case you're noticing maybe like a slight delay, it's just trying to get out of this device and the channel we're using. Yes. So let's get pumped up for this evening and this section. I'm so excited again to be here and to be sharing this with you. Like I said earlier, it's going to be an interesting one and we're not going to be keeping anything. The idea is for us to be able to share the insight as much as possible so that you can start making use of it immediately. It's not going to be gamble and we're not holding back anything. For example, just last 4 days to this weekend, let me say to yesterday, we've gotten a lot of messages from people who got interviews, and it's so interesting to see. So a lot of interviews are coming in, and that's a good one for us, an interesting one. So we're going to be sharing like what we do that makes people get interviewed quickly and faster in this current day world, and because of the competition in the market, the AI thing, right? A lot of people have been writing CVs with AI, and a lot of organizations are also trying to use AI to also sift out CVs. So it's now AI meeting with AI. And so, what do you do differently to be able to stand out in this market? And that's what we'll be talking about. Yes, and again, we have our guest again as a guest at the same time having our guest with my wife in person of Opeyemi Adekunle, who will be breaking down the NHS thing, the public sector, how to apply. Because I want to say that there is a difference between applying on LinkedIn, on CV Library, on Indeed. There's a different approach to application on those platforms compared to NHS or the public sector, talking about the civil service and whatever you have here. Just majorly from I'm talking about the people in the United Kingdom now, or somewhere else around the world. However, the same strategy works for everybody. It doesn't matter. Regardless of where you are, you can use the same method. You can use the same system. Okay. So I would say I need you to get your pen and paper. At the same time, maybe you have a laptop or something you can use to practice and see what we're talking about and do it immediately. What we're trying to do here is so that you can start getting interviews right from this weekend, going into the week, Monday, and before the end of the week. This same strategy is what we shared like 2 weeks ago on the platforms on LCFA for the interns and the professionals working with them. And they are getting interviews already. I must be honest with you, about 4 interviews popping in this week already, just because they are using the same method. We've been talking about it on LinkedIn if you've been following me for a while. But again, probably because there are a lot of information going out there, and the problem we have in our current age and time is information overload. And so it's something that we need to actually deal with. So I would say to you that the first thing you have to start from is your mind, being open to the opportunities we're going to be sharing today. Don't come into this room to come and validate your bias to say, oh, there are no jobs, or that the methods are not working. All right. So please stay open. Guide your heart with all diligence, because out of it flows the issue of life. The mind is actually an important thing to deal with when it comes to job searching and securing opportunities. And I want you to really think about that deeply. And when you start focusing on something, you start seeing it around you. My usual example is when you pay attention to red cars because you want to buy a red car, or you want to buy a particular brand of Mercedes or whatever. What you see is that you start seeing that car all around you, except if it's a new car that is only one person that has it around you. But again, when you start focusing on something, you start to see it. That's what we call frequency illusion. Frequency illusion is a part of your brain that does that, where it's actually making you focus on what you want to see and taking away distractions. Okay, so if you are here, I think you need to take away distractions, focused on what is important, what you want to see. Is it result, or you want to validate your bias that there are no opportunities in the job market? So change your mind right now, because even when there are opportunities, if your mind is focused on negativity or the fact that there are no jobs, the competition is high. I speak with a lot of people every day, and they come to say this to me. I said, that's the first thing I need you to deal with. Take away that thought that there are no jobs out there. There are jobs, and people are landing roles every day. LinkedIn, for example, every 5 minutes, every 1 minute, somebody is securing a role, even if they don't come online to post every time. We have over 1 billion people online on LinkedIn, so you can imagine, and you are not connected to everybody. Well, my point is there are opportunities. So please begin to change your lens, right? Start focusing on what will give you results. And that is the first thing to deal with. Even though you've been getting rejections, perhaps you need to tweak something, you need to fix something, you need to correct something that you have been doing, your approach. Once you get that fixed, then you start to learn the strategies that is being used. We call this strategy an LCFA, the lift system, the lift strategy, which is always around you doing these things end to end when it comes to job application. Okay, you learn. I'm not one of those who would actually say you should fabricate stuff when you don't have the real knowledge or the experience. So learning, implementing, framing, and then the transformation comes. And that's the whole idea around the framework called LIFT. Is a system that we have used over time to get results. And so you'll be learning what happens in that framework, and now why our professionals at LCFA, the mentees we have, or the professionals that we work with are getting results. The focus is not on LCFA today. It's about you taking these skills and this knowledge to the market to change your experience. So just give me a few minutes while I take more messages. Like I said, if you're just jumping on this call, I want you to drop the message of where you are reaching out to us from, where you were chatting from. Also, what are you looking to get? Yes. So I think our guest is entering the stage now. Let me see. Yeah, the template. So I'm going to be accepting her into the studio, so we can take it from there, or while she's trying to set up her device and all. Yes, so the first thing to do when it comes to job applications, I used to share every now and then, is to do what we call market analysis. So many of us try to start applying for jobs without analyzing the market, to see what is obtainable in the market, to see what the market is asking for, the skills and the tools, regardless of the domain you find yourself, or the your profession. Is it project management, data analytics, data engineering, UI, UX, and all sort of things, whatever it is you want to do, IT, business analysis and all. The first thing is for you to research the market. LinkedIn is a big place, it's one of the largest platforms. You want to see it's a big place for you to use for that analysis. So what you're trying to do is for you to go through the market, go to jobs, and begin to search for opportunities in the job market, that is on LinkedIn. I'll give you an example now very quickly. Yes, guests to the studio to see. So you want to go to jobs on LinkedIn. That's where we have you set your alert, search for jobs. Look at 20 to 30 jobs in that your field and domain. Definitely you set some filter, set maybe entry level, associate, or intermediate level. The major thing is for you to filter down to what your skill level is. And this is not by you trying to downplay your skills, because a lot of us as professionals do that. We doubt our skills a lot. We overthink the requirements in the industry. So what you want to do is to ensure that you are measuring your skills properly. And this is where mentorship comes into play. For somebody to look from outside to see this is what you have, this is what you lack. And again, this process would help you to see your skill gap. So you're analyzing the job market, you're seeing what the market is asking for, you're comparing it to what you have, the skills you've been exposed to, the knowledge you have, and every other thing. And then you're asking the question, what do I have that the market wants, and what do I have that the market doesn't care about? So that you will stop putting what the market is not asking for into your CV. The reason is because so many of us, because we have gone to attended a lot of boot camps, built a lot of skills, learned a lot of things, a lot of experiments here. I mean, done a lot of analysis, portfolio building here and there. You are trying to, force yourself on the market. You want to force yourself on the market, which is not the ideal thing to do. So the point is that you need to look at the market, look at what the market is asking for, look at what you need to add to it that you don't have. This will guide your upskilling in case you need to start upskilling. Okay, this will guide your development. This will guide your confidence too at the same time, because when you know you have what the market is asking for, what you do is to plug them in the right way. Now, you don't only look at the skills alone, you look at the requirements. That is the description. How are those things being used in the market? So you want to know how they word those things. Oh, the knowledge of SQL is needed because you'll be analyzing this. We need Power BI skills because you'll be presenting data and this one, building dashboards and flows that works for us. So things like that are the things you want to take note of, because those are the things you'll be weaving into your CVs. If you have done them, please take note if you have the skills. So if you don't, then your focus will be to build that skill. Now, when it comes to reading job descriptions, don't focus on trying to have 100% of it. I usually recommend 60%. Once you have 60% of the requirements in the job market, you're good to go, because most job adverts are wish lists. Most job adverts are wish lists. So what you're looking at is what are the average, the frequently common or frequently asked for, the skills that are frequently asked for, the common skills in the market. For example, in my space as a data professional, Excel is one skill that he asks for a lot of times. Why a lot people think, oh, Excel is an ancient tool, it's been here for a very long time, it's not so much needed again. Analytics says the different. There's a difference between what the world is telling you and what the market is asking for always. And so one of it is SQL as well. So SQL is the one that tops the list when it comes to the skills, the tools the market is asking for in my domain. I know when I guess Opeyemi comes into the picture now, she will tell you about what is required in her field, especially combining project management with analytics as well. Leading projects, tracking them, and all sort of things. So the next tool is Power BI. The market asks for that, but don't take my word for it. Do what I'm saying you should do now. Go and research it in the market, because it also varies by location. So you want to know what they are looking for. And the market is changing, so you're looking at trends. You're looking at what is changing, because the knowledge you have about the market of this week might be different next 2 weeks and be different in a month time. So you don't want to continue to force yourself into the market saying, I have learned the skill you asked me to learn last week. Now I have it. Take it. No, you won't be invited into the room for interviews if you lack the skills and the requirement. If you get that point very well, yeah. So from that knowledge, you're moving it back into your CV or your upskilling. Now, once you have that, trust me, while you're upskilling, there's something you need to take advantage of, which is your LinkedIn profile, your platform. Okay? You're looking at what is necessary, what is important in terms of people you connect with. Networking is very, very important. Now, you're not going to be applying and just go to bed. You need to apply and do a follow-up, meaning connect with the people that matters. If recruiters post job, not only apply for the job, click connect with them. Drop a message to show your interest. in a simple message with your expertising. I have a knowledge of this and this and that. You have seen it, some of us, and I'll share it again in the end-to-end job application template that I have. I've shared on my post in the past. And you look at the simple message you can carve that captures your skills and the experience they are looking for. Okay. Then what you do next is to send your CV. Now say, here is my CV for your perusal. Attach your CV to it as well. Once you attach your skills and your CV, I mean your CV, updated CV, attach it, and then let the recruiter go through it. What happens to you in that sense is that they push you up the list, because you messaging them first, it shows confidence, and they are ready to work with somebody who is confident in themselves. Even if you don't have, or you don't tick the box 100%, most likely not. Most of the time we don't. People who tick the box 100% will be looking for something else. That is another job, going for higher roles. So that's why I say you focus on 60%. Once you have the 60% or 55%, just message. You never can tell. Like I said, job descriptions, requirements are wish list. They wish somebody could have all the skills, but they know it's not always the case. If you have the basic skills or the required skills, they focus on that and ignore the rest. So once you send your CV, if the recruiter is going to go over LinkedIn, your message will be in their inbox already, instead of applying and waiting for them to come to you. If there's an email that has been dropped as well with the what's it called now, with the advert or the phone number, you want to call the phone number immediately. If you have an email, send an email. Send a mail to that particular one and say you are interested in the role. This is what you found, and this is what your skill is, and here is your CV. I do this also on CV library. So for so many of us who know CV library, just type it on Google, CV library. I have a profile there. Make sure your profile is up to 95 to 100% in terms of putting in all the information required, including your pictures. Then go to search and click on data analyst, for example, your location, set your radius to say 30 or 50, how far you can travel, and if you are willing to relocate, put it there as well. I mean, relocate within the UK, for example. Then look at the job description. Once you see the list of jobs there, a lot of times, let's say 50 to 60% of the time, you will see the name of the recruiter, the person who posted the job. And in fact, 80% you see the name, 60% you see emails, and then let's say 50% you see phone numbers. If you have phone numbers, that's even better. Call them. If you see the name, search for that person, copy the name and search for it on LinkedIn. Once you search for it, because you can't send the message to them, you probably just have to apply on CV Library. Send a message to them on LinkedIn, connect with them, because they are still actively applying. It's even better. They are still actively recruiting. It's even better. So tell them that you found the job they posted on CV Library, and send your CV as well. I know some of us cannot really send a CV or message immediately until they accept because of the LinkedIn limitation. So this is why I recommend using LinkedIn Premium. On LinkedIn Premium, you can actually, but I know it's a lot of money for some of us, but do you know that they allow you to use it for like a month? And sometimes even when you go away and come back, they'll give you 2 months for a price of one. So you can actually do 2 months free, and then the next you start paying. So if you're using it for the first time, I want you to use, that is what I mean is I want you to, hold on please. Hello, can you unmute your mic? I guess he's here and we can see her. Okay, good. So as I was saying.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure, clearly now. I think I might take a break off this and then allow you to just share your method and your approach when it comes to applying to jobs on NHS, how you follow it. Please, I think you should ignore the other thing you're seeing on LinkedIn. Just focus on what you have here on the StreamYard, because there is a lag and a delay between the streaming. So just continue to share, and then once we have the questions, we can always type them and ask you questions after. So are you ready to take us on that journey now? Yeah, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah. Good to know.
Okay. Now.
Yeah.
Okay. Really sorry about the breaking transmission because my laptop, probably I opened so many apps, so just trying to close them. And this is my first time on LinkedIn Live as well. So thank you for bringing me on this platform to Dr. Doki. Thank you so much for the opportunity, sir, and God bless you mightily. And to everyone that's seated here as well, looking for one opportunity or the other, either in the job market or in career or generally in life. I pray that God will continue to open doors and doors unto us in Jesus' name. And so, so I'm starting with prayer because if we talk about my job process, yeah, I don't think prayer is something I can remove because, or should I say, faith and belief is not something that I can remove because that's like one of my key things. And I try as much as possible to not just to do everything physically, like probably just apply and all that and leave it there, or just go for interviews and leave it there. First and first, I try as much as possible to go to God in prayer over it and really pray. So I'm not really talking about a lot of me, like I'm really pray about my application. So as I make this application, pray for favor, pray for enlightenment, pray for that idea and creativity to be able to stand out. And so like okay, so let me start all over again and just to say a little bit about myself, my background. I think, as you all know, probably some people don't know or some know. Yeah, so my name is Opeyemi, and Opeyemi Opeyemi Adekunle, anyone you choose, fine. And so I'm a mother of one, and
And she shows up there.
ironically, so I'm a wife to one as well. So I remember in my school days, yeah, I chose science. So it is for people that school in Nigeria, the science, art, and so I chose science. And I'm usually like one of the, at least if you count three people, you would find me there. But something happened along the line. My parents couldn't afford my school fees. I couldn't even afford a public school because if you stay in, I think generally in Nigeria, public schools are free. And I couldn't afford public school because the transport fare to that public school, and that was always a secondary public school around our area, the transport fare to our public school was enough to pay the school fees. So for like 1 year, 2 year, the school fees was compiling. I remember a particular year, I didn't go to school for a whole term. Yeah, a whole term. And that is minus days they will send me back and forth. So I was the one, I was self teaching myself for most of the subjects. So imagine not going to that, and that was SS2, second, I think maybe third term or second term. I didn't go to school for that whole term. And when I tell my husband that I didn't go to school for a whole term, or probably they send you home. I'm like, you don't even understand. Like, what do you mean they sent you? What do you mean they sent you home? And it really affected me a lot. It affected me a lot. And I got to school and I couldn't really think about, I was trying to push, because I've self-taught myself, 12, about 10 or 11 subjects, you're trying to teach yourself and just copying notes from your classmates, not writing exam, not writing tests, and doing all those things on my own. So it dropped from being taught in a class to, I don't even know, in the class. And it was really, really bad. And then I got into the university my first year. So the instability, our financial instability continued till I got into university. So with that, I still tried as much as possible to read for JAMB on my own, pass while we're even still looking for money for work. And you're talking about, university. So by the time we got to university, 100 level first semester was like the toughest because there wasn't really so much to even go to class. Like if I'm going to class, probably I'm thinking like, okay, what do I eat in the night? What do I, it was so tough. And then second semester, I lost my dad. It was tough before. Second, it was tough before then, and then you now lose. If there's anything like toughest, but God came through for me at that point, and at that point, I'd seen my result, and it was very bad, like very very bad. And at that point, something came to my mind that is either I win or I win, meaning the I'm now responsible for my mom. I was now responsible for my two junior brothers. And everything was on my head. Like it was as if I was carrying the whole world. Sometimes it still feel like sometimes, but not as much as then when I didn't even have any direction. So then just to fast forward, I started staying with my uncle. So when they give me money for school, then I would divide that money and send back home to my mom and for them to cater for some things. So it was like up and down, up and down, up and down till I finished. And at some point, I barely had anything in school. I think there was one particular day I would never forget this day, just to finish the story about my uni. A particular day I would never forget. I had not eaten for almost 2 days. Yeah, 2 days. And then I was so lean. And then I started praying to God, what do I do next? Do I already packed my clothes? I said, okay, am I going to die here with hunger? Who do I call? And then I didn't even have transport fare to even say I wanted to go to my uncle or there was even no money for credit. Like, or maybe if you want to, I don't think MTN was doing maybe buy now and pay later. I don't think so. So I didn't even have credit. And I think that was almost the end of that term. And so people had gone home, and probably I was doing some, probably I think I was in 500 level, and I was, really, really I still had to stay back in school to do some things. And I had not eaten. That was the second day. I was not fasting. So this one is not like, okay, you're fasting. And those kind of hunger, I usually turn it to fasting automatically. I said, okay, let me not waste this moment. Let me use it to pray. And I think that was where, my prayer life started, coming up. Suddenly I was really hungry this time, and somebody knocked my door and said, what happened? Why are you here? And the person brought food, brought money, and this was just an escort from my school, from my class. I didn't tell anybody anything that I'd not eaten. And that was when I started thinking that really God has me in mind. So for every 1 year who has, I don't know if anybody's story is worse than my own story. I've not even shared. That's like 1/10 of some of the things I've passed through. And if there's anyone who has even passed through more than this, or not even as much as this, there's really hope. There's so much ahead of us that we can achieve. I look back at some of those things right now, today, and I thank God for passing through that process. And I always know that every step I take, there's this God that is really watching over me. So coming to UK, then fast forward, started searching for jobs, and then I started with so my background was public health. So in case, okay, if you say, okay, probably she read project management or business. In fact, my background was not really public health. My background was animal health and production. So if you understand, it's animal, like core animals. And then moving to public health, like it was really a struggle. And then I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So I started looking for jobs. It wasn't forthcoming. And then I was getting some interviews, but they weren't so much of my background. And because the animal health was not called animal health as well, it was like animal health here, production here. I think some people will understand that if they have people that have done the course. And then I was like, okay, what do I do? What's the next step? Then I was in the job market looking for jobs. It wasn't forthcoming. I applied here, applied there, and all that. Then I just said, okay, what else have I done in the past? And I look at some of my responsibilities. I've been able to lead units. I've done this. I've done that. Okay, I'm like, okay, that's admin, and I put that in my CV. So I turned my CV to like an admin. This thing, I've worked here. I've done this. I've been able to coordinate this, coordinate that, organize this, and I packed the CV together. And I just left it on CV Library. Like I just left it there. I forgot about it. In fact, I'd done like a couple of interviews, and that was when I knew, okay, I think my CV was good. And then somebody just called me all of a sudden to come and do interviews somewhere. The next day, like I literally got the job the next day. Like I don't even know where they saw the CV from. I've forgotten that I put my CV there, and I got the job the next day. And that was my first official role into project management as an admin assistant. So getting into the sector, and fortunately it was an health sector, I was like, okay, this is good. So I was like, okay, what else can I do? What skills? So my goal started changing. And okay, so I'm this kind of person that I'm not fixed on a particular. I want to become a doctor. I want to know where I'm from. I want to become a lawyer. I'm sorry, I don't do that. I just look at, okay, what do I have now? What can I offer now? And what are the opportunities around me? And I jump into it. And that is what has actually always been helping me. And then I said, this job application. So I started looking for skills as well, volunteering as well. And then I got the next role, and then the next role. But every role I applied for, I started noticing that I got better in my applications. I got better in the strategies I used. And it didn't take me long before I moved from one role to the other. It didn't take me long at all. And that's what has been helping me so far. So just to really jump into the main thing for today. So I hope I've been able to encourage someone today just with that one. And okay, so just really talk about I'm sorry, I can't really see the screen. So I can't really say grab a people's chat or something. I don't think I can see people's chat. We'll try. Okay, so just to quickly dive into my journey into securing jobs and using these strategies I've been able to use for the past, it's not even up to 3 years now. I don't even think it's up to 2 years as well. I would usually say that out of, I don't, probably there's anything like wasting application. I don't know if there's anything like that, but let's say out of 10 applications, or if I don't get like three, at least three, probably something must be wrong somewhere. Like I make applications of three. Everybody say so. I know some people might be saying that's not true in this job market where there's scarcity, where there's chemical. What are you using is not true, or are you probably your CV is not. Mm-mm. My CV, in fact, for my CV, the things that they are the things I've done within the past 1 2 years, no more, no less, within the past 1 2 years. There are no extras from all those admin, no extras from those ones within the past. In fact, so more of 1 year ago where I started the project management journey. So it's not like I just probably things that are not supposed to be, or probably I'm just putting things there that's okay, that are not true. Everything there I can say those are the things I got involved in, and I can defend very well. So just to quickly say, so in this job market, I really understand. So everybody will say probably maybe it's because it's project management or it's data analyst or this. Everywhere it choke job. I don't know if that's the best way. It choke like to look for job in this present time, like it choke. Then now looking if you're in the abroad, I don't know if you're in Nigeria, but if you're in the abroad, you're already disadvantaged with your color. Yeah, I did this. They call me OP because nobody really knows. They don't really, even if I correct them 100 times, they don't know how to call my name. So that's another disadvantage. So my husband bears Victor, so that's quite easy. But looking at my name, like, is this Chinese or is this? So that's another one. Like my name is another one. My your skin color, my intonation is another one. But out of all this, I don't sit on that and say, okay, this is what everybody's complaining, a job market, everybody's this, and now, I don't put that in my mind. Like Mr. Victor rightly said, mindset. So I go with the mindset of whatever the case may be, is either I win or I win. I would get this thing, the right job will come my way. I will join the right team and the right job will come my way. And so I don't, even if I get rejections and rejections, the only thing is the rejections always make me come back and say, what am I not doing right? And so rather than say, oh, I didn't get it's a rejection, say, okay, what did I not do right? And sometimes, in fact, most times, when I go back to those personal statements, then I think about it, even if I'm the HR, will I employ with this kind of personal statement, would I have employed myself if I was the HR? Because you see some grammatical errors, you see some things that did not say, wow, did I just write this one? So sometimes I say, okay, what did I come back again? Sometimes I can show someone, just have a look at it again, probably my skills or probably my experience, or probably I didn't explain myself well, there was really not much details. Sometimes when I send an email, or if somebody sent an email to me, or I can show my husband, say, okay, I sent this email, this person reply like this, say, hey, yeah, because even from this I can't even really understand what you said. Yeah, so sometimes, so I started paying more attention to all those little steps, and in this competitive market, and that has really made me stand out. So that's the power of strategy. The power of strategy will really make you stand out in this competitive job market, and you don't just do random applications. So for applications, you can't really predict who is going to really, and they say AI is there, and because if you are applying for a government role, it's less of I don't want to say it's less of AI, but from my own experience, it's more of them checking it, like looking at your personal statement one after the other. So even if 200 people applied, they would go through everything. I'm not sure, maybe as at this moment, there is now a system that they've put in place to, automatically do these things like private organizations. But as far as I'm aware, there is not, there is, I don't think there's been an automatic system, like maybe using, the only thing is if they say AI, they can say, okay, this thing sounds too, it sounds too, too
Structured.
yeah, it sounds too structured, like, there's a way to look like, you say, are you even if you're a professor, there's a way you would put your personal statement, and they will still come back to say, yeah, did this person really do this thing? And it's too structured for human. I'm not saying people cannot be as intelligent as that, but yeah, they can always figure
So,
that out.
yeah, so what are the strategies, going into, like, I'm sure you've highlighted a lot of things step by step on what you do, how you look at the job description to the point where you're applying for the role. I think I mentioned in the post that you actually reach out to them and all sort of things, and I'm sure you've highlighted that. So just
So
to
the
just
first
take us through
strategy I
that.
use is to customize each application. So I might say I'm doing 10 applications, but using that 10, I can apply for one job in like 3 days. I'm still there applying for that job because I'm trying to make it as structured, customized as possible. And once I get a template for, I kind of, the first thing I do is go into the job market and say, okay, what are the person specification for all these jobs. So let's say I want to apply for 10 jobs at the same time. So I take everything first for all the jobs. I combine everything and say, okay, what are the things that are common first? So I look for the commonalities among the jobs. Let's say for project management, now they can say stakeholder management, risk management, procurement. So those things are kind of common, but there will be some that would be that would say benefit realization. So I'll put those ones aside first and deal with the ones that are common, and then have that structured personal statement that would fit into everything. Then so when I customize each application, so it kind of increases my chance because I'm addressing them to the specific needs of the employer or the specific needs of that organization. So I read the job description carefully, and that includes the desirable and the essential. So for me, I don't look into it and say, okay, I have to meet all the criteria. It doesn't have to be 100%. It doesn't have to be 100%. Once I meet 70, 60% of the criteria, I would go for it. In fact, 50%, I would go for it. You never know. I would go for it. So, and then I adjust the statement of purpose to kind of now. So once I have that structured one, a whole one, just one, then I start applying them into each organization's requirement. So meaning one application that contains, so I put them into sections. So for the stakeholder management, I have like 6-7 lines that talks about it. For financial management, I have 6-7 lines, this, that. So I structure it into those paragraphs. So when I'm applying for let's say one health board or one organization, then I pick. So after looking at the ones that have been listed, looking at their job description, then I now start tailoring into that organization's job description, and then I do the same for everything. And so sometimes I tweak some things if I see that there are some that are really asking more about, let's say for example, they're asking more about financial management, so I make it more of that. So I just add more skills, more examples to that. Then I use examples to prove the skills, and it's not just vague claims. Like I said, most of the skills or most of the experience I've used for my personal statement or for my application is just 1 year. Now, 1 year now, the experience I've gathered 1 year, not 3 years, not 4 years, 5 years ago. They are recent experience. So, and I ensure that these examples are with skills, they're with experience, they're with achievement, and they're not vague. They are something that you can, when you read it, you will see that, oh, this person really did this. Then the next thing I do is to highlight the relevant skills. So if they require, for example, skills, it might even be desirable. Let's say Excel or PowerPoint. Explain how I've used it, what I use it for, and all that. Just those relevant things. So I just want to say, if you kind of lack, because at the onset, I didn't have this experience and I didn't have the skills, or let's say I was building on them. So what I did was probably volunteering, let's say online classes, internships, and all that. Those were things that kind of helped me to build. So I just want to use this opportunity to also encourage someone again. So if you see those things and you say, oh, this thing I don't have experience, I don't have this, that is when you should not just leave it and say, oh, because I don't have this, I'm not going to do anything about it. What I do is, if they say, okay, they need somebody, okay, I think I was at the time I started applying for some of those jobs, maybe about 1 year ago or so, and I think I didn't really know so much about Excel. And my free time, I was just, okay, what really can make me stand out? Excel, right? And as I put in, like, if in my organization, if they say, okay, can you we need somebody to analyze the symptomatic analysis, predictive analysis. I said, putting myself forward, don't worry, I will do it. Because I will do it just for me to gain that knowledge and get those experience, and it really helped me. So if you lack those certain skills or experience, you can find practical ways to gain them. Yeah, then I align my values also to the company values. So it depends on where you are applying to. If it's the health board, if it's the council, if it's civil services, they usually have similar kind of way of structuring their personal statement. And I've gotten interviews from either health boards, councils. Yeah, so they usually have similar ways. So it's not like I do health boards and it's okay because I then another one. They usually have similar ways. So I think the second thing I do is effective. I really communicate and follow up. So let's say for example, there's this job description. You just go down the list and there's this name that pops up, email that pops up. Don't just overlook it. I contact the person, give them a call if there's there's a phone number there, or send them an email if there's no phone number. So this kind of cautious email, or it's kind of it shows my expression and gives them a positive impression about me. So when I'm calling, when I'm sending this email, I'm talking about myself, my interest in the role, not necessarily where I reside or anything, just my interest about the role, what I will bring to the team as well. And this gives a positive, impression. And then I also jump on calls if they say, okay, can you schedule a meeting? Let's talk on Zoom or this. I don't take that for granted at all. And this kind of, help me to also tailor my personal statement, because by the time they're talking, they're telling you, oh, this is what we want from this person. We want somebody. Some people will just say, we are going to teach you. We just want somebody who is ready to stay, because everyone we've been having, they've just been leaving. We just want somebody who is ready and who is dedicated, who is teachable. And you'll be like, are you serious? So are you saying you're not going to look at my skills? But it's not like if I had submitted my CV before then, they would probably I wouldn't have gotten the role or gotten the interview. But they're just saying that, well, apart from all these things, one of the most important things we are looking for is somebody somebody who is teachable, somebody who will stay, who would, want the team, who would really want to be in this team, not somebody who just wants to come and, and in 2 months or in one month they've left. And you'll be like, you'll be submitting 100 applications. Are you saying it's just somebody who shows dedication that they need in this role and we will get rejection? But if you've not spoken to that person, because they are also humans, and you kind of put an expression of interest in their art just by that. So sometimes when they just go through with that, when even if they don't see your name in the interview, you've told them where you've worked, you've told them your role. So when they come across this is like a secret now. So when they come across your personal statement, they can say, oh, I think this is this person, right? Because you've talked about where you've worked, you've talked about your role, with the things you've done. So, and not two people it's usually scarce for you to see two people that will have exactly the same thing. So you've put so when they are going through it, I'm talking about for those with personal statements now, they can relate and say, okay, this I think this is this person. And that gives you a chance for interview, and you are in a better position with that. And I follow up as well. So I follow up with recruiters, especially on LinkedIn. There are some recruiters that will just chat me up and say, oh, are you ready to work here and here? I won't just ignore because I'm not ready to work there, or because they didn't put the amount of money there. I follow up and say, oh yeah, I'm interested. What's the job about? This and this, and show interest. And they, even if they don't, I'm not interested in that exact role. Sometimes they come back and say, oh, we've gotten another role now. Do you want this role now? So that relationship building is really one significant thing that's really helped me thus far. And yeah. And lastly, just lastly, so the last one is being consistent, and consistency is really the game changer. Consistency in the sense that sometimes you've just gotten rejection now, like you've applied for jobs and the rejections just, they're just running back to back. Email, you open your email and then the first thing is rejection, you open again, another rejection. But consistency, don't stop. It's like it's like people telling you, it's like people saying you won't achieve something and you proving them yes. That's the way it seems to me. And you saying, okay, yes, I accept it. So no matter the rejections, I'm consistent. I'm there. Morning, afternoon, night, midnight, early morning, 3 a.m. I'm there in the job market. I'm applying. So I'm really consistent to maintain that momentum, that focus till I get it. Once I get it, then I relax, yeah. But until I get it, I'm there morning, afternoon, night. And, I also lean on people's support as well, networking with people I like. You can call a friend, yeah, I've been trying to do this. I met the first project management role I got. I just literally chatted somebody on LinkedIn. I don't know how from anywhere. And I've chatted a couple of people and they've not replied. I just chatted this person. I said, I have an interview, blah, blah, blah. And she said, okay, you know what, give me some time, three. She didn't even reply at first. And then she came back. I'm happy to hear about your journey so far. Give me some time. And she came back, give me a phone number. And since then, we become like, like we built that relationship, and she gave me some key things, built that relationship over time, and by the time I got the role, they're like, wow, I'm happy for you. So networking is really important. It really, really, especially people that have gone ahead of you, they will help you in a way that you'll be able to, scale those hurdles. So where you're supposed to be doing things as just struggling, because somebody has gone ahead of you, they've tested the water, they've been able to understand some of those things, they can just give you those things to apply, those strategies to apply. So that's one thing I do. Mentorship and support is really another key thing. So those are the three key things I use. Anyways, thank you.
Yeah, so there's something we promised that we're going to share. This could be a very hard one to crack, but I know from your experience, if you can share your views on how sponsorship works, right? Maybe you have an idea. I know you've gotten that note and opportunity to be sponsored. And internet moves, especially, like I said, how would you think people should approach it? Because right now, especially for the people in the UK, a lot is changing in terms of the job market and I mean, even the rules and the old policies. So, how would you say people should, approach sponsorship? My whole idea is always to get in first. Same way one can also still get it before coming in. And what's the chance of getting that? What would you ask people to do differently to position them for such opportunity to be sponsored?
Yeah, I would say firstly, if you're applying and the organization does not even sponsor at all, they might, along the way, they might get COS and all that. But firstly, you have to look at the job as well. Is it a job that can be sponsored? If yes, you're on a better in a better position. So for me, the strategy I use over time is to get in there. Once I know that role can be sponsored, and I knew the organization sponsors as well, after, I don't you don't bring it at first, probably before your application say, okay, you want sponsorship, blah blah blah. Before your interview stage, don't even mention it at all. Don't don't say anything. Even if they ask you, will you require sponsorship afterwards? You might say, okay, you probably the visa you are on is still, you're still okay there. Don't make it seem like it's without the sponsorship you can't work, or without the sponsorship you need that sponsorship like very very urgent. No, I don't think any employer likes urgent, like urgently sponsoring people like that, except if you are like very extraordinary, and probably there's I don't know, but even with that, it still doesn't kind of put someone in a good position. So for me, I would say get into the organization. First of all, you kind of want to look into those organizations that are sponsoring. Now that job codes are change. I don't know if job codes are the one changing, or no, not job codes. Standard, the rates,
The going rates, yeah.
the going rates, minimum, look into all those things in details, because for those things, it is not in the hands of your employer now. It's in the hands of the government. And so there is little or nothing you can do. There's actually nothing you can do about that. So for the ones that are in your control, for those ones that are not in your control, to say the government should reduce the salary or that, no, that's not in your control. So your own is the job you are going for. You must have seen the salary, or if you've not seen the salary, ask the HR what's the salary going to be like. They must have told you. Then from there, yeah, after you've gotten the job, then talk about sponsorship. Then if definitely, if they have sponsorship, like if they have the CEO, if it's an organization that sponsors, and if your job it's among the jobs that could be sponsored, I don't think any employer, for me, I think my first employer, if you remember, my first employer, it was so, and unfortunately, the job, and that was like 2 years ago. The job was not in the jobs that could, but he tried everything he could. Like it didn't want to lose me. Like he tried everything he could at that time, just to ensure that the job got sponsored. And then, so once you come on board, even if you've not fully come on board, even if the visa would expire in the next 1 month, even if you've not fully come on board, build that relationship. So I would say, I think the strategy that still works for me is building that relationship with that employer. Once you build that relationship, forget, they will go anywhere for you. That's it. They don't mind spending money, and looking for solicitors or lawyers and saying we need to sponsor this person. So that's what has actually worked for me, is building that relationship to say, okay, I need this understanding. They will come to your terms to understand your situation, and they won't want to lose you. If nobody really wants to lose a good employee, no organization wants to lose a good employee. I don't think any organization wants to. So especially employee that they know is bringing value to them, they won't want to. So yeah, I think that's one of the ways to go about it.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think this is a good one that we've been able to get to this. This is what people have been waiting for. And thanks for breaking it down. Like I said, somebody said, thanks for, keeping it consistent, not holding back. And that's what we promised, that we're going to be sharing the thing, even our flaws on the journey. And you've highlighted that it's not as if those statements are even perfect. But, one thing you said that really gave you leverage is reaching out to them to also sell yourself ahead of it, which shows confidence, which shows passion and interest in whatever they are doing, which is a good one. And I think uh, this again is something that people should take note of. Calling ahead or trying to reach out to build a relationship on time is very, very important. And it will even go beyond just the point of applying for the job, you getting the job, and into the organization, like you said. That means you go over and beyond to make sure you do well in your role, to gain up experience quickly at the same time, to be able to make yourself indispensable, not to say they won't be able to send you away, but they'll be willing to go extra miles. I mean, not every employer you really want to go extra mile for people. It has to be that you have been able to position yourself rightly. And I must say this, which is something that people should think about very well. As I know some of us have built the mindset of racism and all sorts of things, but I think in our experience we've never had to deal with that. We don't really talk about it even in our house. We don't talk about racism. I know this is not to deny the fact that some might have, but maybe because we are focused on something else. We have a different goal. We have something else we are trying to do. We don't even care, right? Because not everybody is like that. If you think about it, individuals have their individual issues. So it doesn't have to be a racism thing. It might just be individual issues, individual problems. So let people be what they want to be. You just focus on yourself and give your best, and then see how things work out for you. And yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. And I must say, you mentioned mentorship, reaching out to people, professionals early, showing how much you are passionate about working at the same time doing the real work. People want to mentor, but they need to be sure that you're also willing to put in the effort required. And that's why we came on this to come and share our own ideas and the fact that mentorship is needed, because there are some key questions you would need to ask somebody who has been in the industry. Like you said, so many of us put it on our face that we need sponsorship. It's not because your situation is not requiring sponsorship. From my experience, I got my first paid data role a month before the expiration of her visa back then. And then I'm sure she didn't mention this part, that she got a job that was willing to sponsor even right from outside. But there must be something she has displayed in the interview that made it like that. But it's not always the case. I must be honest with you. Getting a job that sponsors straight up it requires strategy. It's not something you start building from that job or that application, right? You have to build it even through your past experiences, so that when you are speaking at that interview, you have convinced them that you are actually the right person. They will even be the one to bring it up to you that we saw that your visa is expiring, and that means she has not mentioned it. You understand? Then can we? Are you interested in sponsorship? It's not every time you get that, right? So it has to be about your personality, showing your willingness, showing passion for the job, and also showing that you're ready to, give your best to it. Thank you very much. I know people will be having questions, so you can help us just stay. You can turn off your camera if you have one or two to do in the background. While if questions come up, because I'm trying to go through it at the same time on LinkedIn and different channels to see if there's any question, then I can put it up to you. While I quickly dive into some practicals here. So
I just quickly want to say that, just to make, probably if you're writing or something, because I write notes, I take notes. Just to say that every rejection I've taken is like a redirection. So once I'm rejected, I redirect that in a positive way. And every interview to me is like a practice for my breakthrough role. So once I'm going into that interview room, I've put channel the prayers, the hard work, everything that is needed to be done. But if I don't get it, I feel like, okay, this is a practice for my breakthrough role. And stay consistent, be prayerful, and get the support and the mentorship you need. And lastly, believe that the right opportunity will come. Like, you just have to believe it, be strong, no matter the, like I talked about my background, where I was coming from. You won't expect that somebody coming from a animal health and then to public health and then to project management. It's a long story. So, and I know some of us like that, we can just keep doubting ourselves. I'm coming from this place, I'm coming from that place, I'm trying to switch into this. You can do it. Yeah, you can do it. The right opportunity will come your way. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me.
all right, like I said, you might get a lot of questions. Yeah, so just hang on, please, in case we have a lot of things to do. However, in case you have any questions you ask, she would be on the background to be able to answer you. And so while we dive in, you can see I've shared my screen, and I want to go practical now. This is the weekend, and it's an opportunity for us to build skills that are very useful. This is because I want you to be able to take on something here and start using immediately. Now we have explained the NHS way, the public sector way of applying for jobs. And you look at what I've been posting in a very long time. For some of us, you wonder, I talk about the fact that I don't tailor my CV to every job. However, I see add that caveat to say if it's within the NHS or a public sector, the game is different there. It's a different ball game entirely. And I need you to actually, understand that it's a different ball game. So speed is required. You can see our approach. She spent time trying to study the market, understand the job descriptions and the skills they are asking for, then build a professional, what's it called now, a professional summary that addresses so many things. So once the job comes in, she looks at the professional summary, which aspect of my summary, which paragraph aligns with this particular job. Meaning in a professional summary, so that's what she's doing for the last 3 days, maybe she's not explaining for the first 3 days. She's looking at the job market, explaining what she has done in the past that aligns with what the job market is looking for in her role. So you can do the same thing. You can have this long, maybe Microsoft Word document that has the explanation of what you did in different roles. Because when it comes to the NHS or public sector, they use professional, what's it called then? Yes, something like the professional summary, I say, but eventually it's called more of you looking at the specific specification and you are going through this. So you're using the supporting information. So for that supporting information, this is just you explaining what you have done as human. Please avoid ChatGPT at this stage. Initially, you are explaining it yourself, going deep, like in depth, so that they will know that this person actually did this. If you just throw what we use ChatGPT to do, that summarized kind of thing, ChatGPT will always give you what is common to everybody. And what you realize is you just blend in with the market and everybody has the same thing as you. Okay, so what you are actually showing the market, again, what you are going to be putting into the job, to show the recruiters looking for you, is the things you did actually. So you are going to break everything down in a document. I call this in my own way the elaborate CV. And this is what we do at LCFA, London Center for Analytics. Once you have done what we asked you to do, you have already started working with different organizations or on different tasks with Vividex and any partner that we have and the tasks on ground. We ask you to explain all those things in your CV. So you have a CV that is summarized in usual 1-page, 2-page CV, but you have this particular CV that is up to 8 pages where you are breaking down everything you did, bullet point by bullet point. So a bullet point that was two lines before in your CV under experience A might become like 10 lines based on that explanation. I use Microsoft Excel to do this because I'm required to do this. Your task, your action, your this, the result, and then the achievement. You put everything in that explanation. So it is there. So when you are building a professional summary like she's doing, when you are building a supporting information, you are looking at what that particular job is looking for. Just pick the one in that particular experience that relates and drop it there. Even if you now want to use ChatGPT to correct your structure and grammar, it will not hallucinate badly. So you can balance it because AI is here to stay. You have to learn how to use it, but use it smartly. And that's my approach to, building that particular aspect. So once you have spent time for days in doing that, by the time you now start applying to jobs and you are seeing more, you just have a place where you are picking that thing from and you are just throwing it there and tweaking it just a little. And that gives you speed. So the first 3 days, like you said, or first 2 days is just you understanding what the market is currently looking for within that domain. So the same approach to you going into the market, checking 20 to 30 jobs, just like here. And I want to show you, the practical aspect of it. Data analyst in the UK. In fact, I have a filter set, which I will come to later. And you see, the list jobs that are data roles, specifically data analysts. I know this is the weekend, you might have some jobs not there. So I start one after the other. Okay, majorly data analyst roles. Let me just change this filter for now so that I can have more options. And that's something you need to use frequently. So senior data analyst, depending on what you want. So you can come to set, the kind of things you need when it comes to the filters, your level. So let's say I'm looking for a senior data analyst role. As I was explaining the other time, I go over the requirements. Oh, I've seen SQL here, I've seen, they require that I do data cleaning and all sorts of things, which is normal for a data professional, right? And I can tell you that the only two I've seen here, which, validate what I said earlier, is that they actually love to talk about SQL very well. If you see 20 jobs, 16 will be asking for SQL. Why 12 will be asking for Microsoft Excel? Then the knowledge of visualization and also this is how you begin to build your knowledge of what the market is asking for. Please do this, and it will really make your application easy. Senior data analyst, for example, you look at it again. For some of us who are maybe entry level, you start to look at it again. What can you see here? SQL again. This is the second one. Then you are seeing maybe Python or some, at least one additional program is an addition. This is what I was trying to say the other time, that you don't have to really know everything. But if you have maybe 60%, 55 to 60%, you can go for it. Allow them to be the one, to say no to you. So when you look at all these things, this is how you know what skill the market is requesting for. Please, there's a difference between the role of a data scientist and a data analyst. For people that are here in the analytics field, you want to balance the two. Understand that you can find yourself in a data analyst role and you still be doing the work of a data scientist. But for now, focused on what you are built for. And you see what I was trying to talk about. Yeah, data analysts, they're now asking you for LLM. So to me, it's just almost as if it's a data scientist role. So you have to be careful not to get caught in that confusion. So I just ignore that and go to I'm looking at for core data analyst role, where all the tools they are needing is something like this. You can see Excel here. You can see SQL again. You see, once you know what the market is asking for, you start to use that to build your CV. And you can go on and on and on, and you can do 50 jobs. Now, when it comes to searching for a job, if you want to start this weekend to get interviews by Monday, set your filters properly. Firstly, you are setting the date posted using 24 hours. Don't start applying to jobs after you've seen 100 people. Not to say you shouldn't apply, but if all you are doing is applying to jobs after 100 people have applied, you are doing yourself, because a lot of times they won't even see the CV. So you want to really apply early. When you are using LinkedIn, it's not the same as NHS. There are two different platforms. Speed is required, but at the same time, you can master quality. You can gain quality, do quality application, which is why you need to analyze the market before you even start applying, so that your CV is to a large extent, optimized to what the market is looking for. Okay, I'm looking at time and I want to make sure that this is very, very useful for you and very practical. So the next is this: make sure that the job is within the last 24 hours. I know a lot of people that have applied, especially if you are within London or England. For example, look at this. England, 6 hours ago, over 100 people click apply. It's crazy, right? So this is what you do. You now select a filter that says, under 10 people. That also brings you closer. So under 10 people, you can see, this is just a common rule. I'm just giving an example. You can see 16 hours ago, only 3 people. It helps you to be able to filter down. You see, 23 hours ago, only 3 people. Under 10. You want a job that says under 10. And that's a good one to start with. So if you have under 10, what that means is that you want your CV to be seen quickly. If there are 100, even if you have the best CV, for many of us that love to tweak CVs, if you continue to tweak your CV while 100 people have applied, trust me, it's not like all the 100 people will not have a good CV. I know it's possible that we have bad CVs being thrown because we use easy apply and all sort of things. But what if you have a good CV that matches and you're able to apply on time? That's you having 2FA, two-factor authenticator in place. That is, you are doing the right one, speed at the same time, quality. It's possible, it is achievable, and that's the method we have used throughout this week. Throughout last week, this week that's just ending, and we've had a lot of interviews here. About 4, I've spoken with 4 people. You understand? In fact, 5 who has interviews already just by using these things. They are doing follow-up. They are calling the recruiters, as she has mentioned earlier, and also they are doing emails. They are sending emails to them. So what you are looking at is under 10 jobs. Firstly, then you can now take it further, which is this. If you look at this filter here, let me remove this under 10 and just add this filter first. You see, there's something here. If all of us we are looking at it, I've always been looking for opportunity to show people this. I know you might have stumbled on this before. You see, if you look at this part of the address bar, you can see this here. Make sure you maybe spend time to look at this very well and zoom out. What you see is there is a number here which is 86,400. This number corresponds to the number of seconds here in 24 hours. So if you now want to filter down to get the jobs was posted just 30 minutes ago, see how they arrive at this is 24 hours multiplied by 60. That's to convert it to minutes. Then multiply by another 60 to convert it to seconds. So this is what brought us here. So if you need, you understand, the jobs that were posted last 30 minutes, all you have to do is just to change it. Okay, reduce it to 30 minutes. If 1 hour, if you look at it, just to help you with a calculation so that it's very, very easy. 24 hours, which is 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour multiplied by 60 multiplied by 60 is 360. Right? So times 60 times 60. What do you have here? 360. So if you want jobs that were posted in the last 24 hours, in the last 1 hour, just change this thing to 360. Be careful, change it properly. And if you see if there are jobs, you will get it. If there are no jobs, you won't see any. And now this is weekend. You understand me? But again, you can take it further. What about 2 hours ago? Because we did, 24 hours. You can take it further to do 2 hours ago. That's 7,200. And let's see again if we have jobs here. Okay, good. Look at this. You see, and they said this. Look at this. JP Morgan Chase product portfolio operations. So I'm doing this now to make it generic enough. Now look at this. 2 minutes ago, and nobody has clicked. This is Yeah, so this is how you get the jobs that were just recently posted. So you have to really take advantage of this thing. I know you might need to look at this again. Firstly, you have to select the last 24 hours. Okay. Then once you show the results, try it most times during the week. You get more tailored roles. Okay, so you want to change it to whatever number you get. If you want to see jobs that are posted maybe in the last let's say 3 hours, not just 2 hours. Now you can also increase that. Just put it here. You say 3 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 60. You get a number. So for the sake of so many of us, you understand? So 10,800. Then you come here and you change it to 10,800. This alone is a game changer. Now, it doesn't end there. You see, you have more jobs. 2 hours ago, you can see now, all these things are kind of, data-related role. Again, it's because it's the weekend. Now, if you see something here, for this kind of filter that you have set now, if you even want to take it further and you had under 10 to it, okay, for this filter you have set, you see the time is still the same. On the weekdays, you will get a different result. So we are having 3 hours job posted in the last 3 hours, and then under 10 that has under 10 applications. For now, because it's weekend, you have only this one. But you can see, you can actually set an alert for this particular one. Just change this. If you toggle this, you have an alert set. It is off currently. If you click it, it is on. So there will be what you'll be getting every time in your email or in your notification on LinkedIn notification bar is the jobs that were posted in the last 3 hours because of this number here, which is 10,800, that has only 10 applicants. So my method, which I shared again, and the approach of the lead is that you know how to actually approach the market. Okay, you implement all those things quickly. What you do is to set time for yourself. I tell people, set a target for when it comes to the number of applications. We've talked about, being consistent, putting consistency into place. So I'm going to do something here. Set time for yourself. I'm going to be applying for 30 jobs per day. 10 in the morning, 10 in the evening, and 10 in the night. You understand? Because you don't have time. Now, the ones you do in the morning, wake up as early as 7 or 6 a.m. or 5 a.m., apply. You can take your CVs for those ones. Again, already your CV is close to it. You understand? You can take your time to tweak your CV for it. However, when it comes to the afternoon where you are working and you are busy, you have only that 30 minutes on your break. All you can do is to quickly take your phone, look at the jobs that have been sent to you based on the alert, and boom, apply for them. Use the easy apply if the option is there. Easy apply still works. the best chance is for you to apply early. Be among the first 10 people that applies for the job, or first 20 maximum. Try your best and make sure you have that CV that is already, optimized for this. Then the next thing is this. Okay, look at jobs, the jobs posting, the job posting for recruiters. You will see, type this, merge it with anything, recruiting data analyst, recruiting. You can see this is one here. If you go through this during the weekdays, you always see a lot of this, and it could be newly posted so that you can take advantage of it. There will always be a lot of posts, like I said, during the weekdays that will have this. So you want to really look at it when you say actively recruiting or hiring. You want to add this to it, and you see roles that are, people are currently hiring for. Look at all these people. When you click that, the fact that they are hiring at the moment, connect with them. That's why they put actively here there. I love to connect, and I said it earlier that LinkedIn gives you, or in my post, LinkedIn gives you over, I think, 100 to 200 connections every week. All you want to be doing is to connect with them. The first is that, so that once they accept your connection, firstly, you can send without note. Unless you have the job that they posted, then you can send with that note what you are connecting with them for. Now, the next thing is this. Anytime you connect with them, the reason you are doing it is so that in future, if you need to reach out to them, because it's pending right now, I'm on premium, but if I'm not on premium, I won't be able to send message to them. If you connect with them and they accept, that puts you in the position to be able to send them a message. You understand? And this is, for example, those of you in Nigeria, she's already currently in recruiting. You can chat her up. Opeyemi, follow her and connect. Follow will only make you just be their follower, but if you click on their name, you can always find option here, the option to connect here. Connect with Opeyemi. For example, I'm just doing this for practicality. Then you can send them a message. You see, because I use, like I said, the premium option gives me this. That's why I said you should take advantage of the premium to message them. Hi, or interest in data analyst role. Hi, Opeyemi, I am so. I have experience in doing blah blah blah, and with my skills, I think I am fit for a data analyst you have posted. If you have found the job they posted, you understand me? And you can see all the things they are posting here. You see, she posted this recently. You see, you can look at it, see if there's a data role there. She's actively recruiting. Then you go add your CV. If you click on the attach, then you see a lot of CVs here, and you add them. Apologies. You can select one and just say, this is my CV for your perusal, and then you send. Once you send, you apply to the job as well, so that once she finds your CV, she can come back to you again. Another way to get this done, like I said earlier, I think this is where I'm going to wrap this up, because there are a lot of things we can share, but because of our time, I want to make sure that we're wrapping this up early. You go to CV library, and I do this frequently, and I say this because there are opportunities here too. You can actually use both of them together, CV library and LinkedIn. I'm logged in already. You want to use data analyst role, search for data analyst. I'm not in Leeds, but let's say I'm in Leeds. You look at how far you can travel, 50 miles. Just go to your Google map, look at the distance from where you are to that place. How many hours? Are you ready to go for 3 hours or 4 hours? You understand me or not? So look at this. Let's say 25 minutes is fine for me to Leeds. Just go to find, look at the jobs. Please ignore this placement programs and all sort of things. Once you look at them, you will know what you're going for. Let's say compliance data analyst. For example, just like LinkedIn, we have one-click apply. But before you use one-click apply, be sure that your CV is also very good. So beyond just applying and throwing your CV, this is what I was talking about. There's a name here, and this is her name. She's been recruiting for 10 years, and a guy. So you want to copy the name. So in some, they will put their phone number here. Sometimes they will put emails. Beyond just applying for the role, you can apply, like I said, click on apply, have your cover letter built with the knowledge of your CV. Remember what we explained about having an elaborate CV? You can use an elaborate CV to build a cover letter quickly. Copy all those things, put it on ChatGPT, say, I'm applying for this role. I need you to build me a cover letter based on the knowledge of my CV that is aligned with this role. And then just boom, it gives you now. Fine-tune it yourself to make it natural and human. It's why I recommend that method is because you have done the work ahead. You have already explained your CV properly using the elaborate CV. Now we've copied the name. Let's see if she's on LinkedIn. And a guy. And because she has a picture here the other time, let's look at it again. and see if the organization is there, because you can type the name and you find a lot of people there. You will want to type the name of the organization as well and see if they are. So beyond talent, she's the director. So you type the organization and go. When you come here, search for the name properly, change password, look for another guy and see. Yeah, I think I can see the face just now. Let me type again and see. I thought I saw somebody beyond talent. You see, and this is her. You see, her phone number is there. And this is it. Copy her phone number and give her a call. Hello, Hannah. I found this job on CV Library. Currently in creating, I'm interested. I have experience in blah, blah, blah. Open all the things listed here. You see, I didn't plan this before. Now you are seeing how it works practically. Open all those things and look at this. Begin to read out what she said, making sure that your skill matches it properly. Okay? Then just say, if she's not picking up, send a voice note, what's it called, voicemail or whatever. You said, please send your CV today for immediate consideration. It's even on the website already. So if you are sending your CV and you are doubting if you will gain access to her, if you give her a call, okay, contact her, give her a call. She even has her email. Send your email. You see the email you didn't find on CV Library, now you found it on LinkedIn. This is how people get results. If there's nothing else you're going to pick on this call today, if this is the only thing you do, and this is what we do at the accelerator. Now we set up what we call an accountability system where we check your processes every week, because it's a lot of work to actually apply for jobs. So you have a system, we have a CV, we have a checklist where you are ticking the number of jobs you applied for. Did you reach out to them? Did you call them? A lot of people are scared. Oh, if I call them, what would they say? And all sort of things. They are looking for you. That's why they place their number there. This one even says, if you are ready for a consideration, for immediate consideration, please send your CV. Put in please. What do you think that means? It's almost as if they are begging you. So why are they begging us? Even when you think they are not interested in your CV. No, recruiters want you. But the truth is, you have to make the work easy for them by showing up. How? Post your work, make sure you're active on LinkedIn, go to CV Library, go to Indeed, get numbers, call them by yourself. That call changes a whole lot of things. It changes many things. It shows them that this guy is confident in his ability and in his skills. That puts you up, like I said. This is what people have done in the last 2 weeks when we shared the checklist, and I'm going to share it again, maybe on my post soon. So you just look out for that. And again, if you now lack the experience, because all these things, it's very easy for you to talk about them when you have the experience. So if you lack the experience, you're in the UK, you just finished school, you have not practiced or used, like I said earlier, Opeyemi was like, she has actually done A, B, and C in her roles. She usually go out of her way to do the job so that she can gain the experience. And that was how she's able to move from band 3 to a band 7 role within that short time, band 6, 7 roles. You understand me? And that has been a journey. But being proactive, volunteering. So there's an opportunity for you to volunteer with LCFA through their client, through Vividex client. So that's why we have an accelerator program that allows you, number one, train you on the right skills, ensuring that you are using to build, what's it called now, the experience you need. Now you're also solving problems for real companies, real organizations who needs your expertise for so many things. If I tell you this, a lot of non-profits need talents like you. But the reason why you can't approach them is because they can't trust you. And this is where credibility comes in place. And that's what Vividex brings to us. They can give an access to their clients based on consent anyway, to be able to work with them. You understand why you are doing all sort of things you're doing. This is for you to gain real experience. And put it back. This is for you to gain real experience and for you to know that these people are actually very, very ready to allow you work and gain experience from them. So when you have Vividex in place, you're working with Vividex through LCFA, you are building your experience, working with clients. You're also plugging them back into your CV. So there is a CV revamp section where you are actually looking at your CVs, breaking it down to the job market, repositioning rightly, and also your CV optimization, your LinkedIn optimization, and all sort of things. I know it's been almost 2 hours on this call, and I must say that if there's anything around the method we use, the strategy is about being proactive and showing up consistently. For us, it's a game number thing, but we imbibe quality, put quality into it. Okay, to say that this is how you can gain real quality, and when it comes to applying for jobs, how understand the market before you even start building CVs. I just gave an example of one person. And I'm sure I believe she'll be happy when she knows that a lot of professionals can actually call her. And this is how you find people. If you understand that, you can do that for so many jobs. If you scroll down again, for me, I just shy away from graduate roles. Please, if you have experience, you have a lot of competition. Yeah, a lot of professionals want to go for graduate role. Meanwhile, they are qualified for some other roles. Now look at this. Click on the name, Stephen Barron and Bernard. Okay, and this is the phone number. This phone number is actually the business number. You might, if you call it this weekend, you might not have access, but maybe during the week you can call. But you can try it anyway. And then if you're calling and no one is speaking, send a voice note. You understand? Send a voicemail. And then do the same thing. What's the name of the organization? If I can see it, reporting data analyst. Send it. See, the name of the organization is not here, but I can see jobsaware.co.uk. And they said, this is the name of the recruiting firm. It's important that you see these names, you see the name of the organization, so that when you are searching for the name, you can see if it's the right person. Again, I can put it back and see bespoke and whatever. So you can start looking at top quality recruitment. You can see a lot of people with that name. They are even mostly headhunters. So senior headhunter, these are the people you need. Now you start to look at for the names. What you can do again is to now add the name of the company where that posted the role they came from, and see if you can add it to it. If there will be a match or something, just put it here, remove lead from here and see. Take away location from the search, and let's see if we can find them or not. Again, yes, it just brought out someone now, and this is this person. You see now, we found him here, and you connect with them. Connect. Or you have a phone number there, so you can connect with him, send him a message. Say, I saw the role you posted. You are recruiting for, and that is it for how you take advantage of what you have. You can also apply for it. That's the idea. Apply, then reach out to them. You are doing double things. Again, coming back to what we were doing the other time when it comes to searching, let's say we are going with this lead product analyst role. Sometimes they also leave the name of the person recruiting for the role here. You want to connect with them. And apart from that, at the bottom, sometimes they leave the phone number or the email and they say you should reach out. So I'll take another row and see if it's there or not. Let's see the person responding to the role. You can see sometimes they leave some phone numbers. They tell you if you're interested, you can reach out as quickly as possible for shortlisting and all sort of things. So this is quite a lot. I think they are recruiting for so many roles at the same time. So you see, there's an email here. Contact person, send to this one. Or this, they gave you two. Why are people not using all these things? How many emails have you sent in the last 1 week since you've been applying for jobs? And let me look at this again. Sometimes they leave the name of the person, like I said, who is taking the role, or the email, and that's what you've seen. So these things, I think they are easier than we imagine, but we don't take advantage of the things that have been placed for us to use. My question is why? Is this fair? You're applying for jobs and you really want to land roles. This can be used anywhere. It's not only it's not only in the UK. And for some of us looking out for remote roles, I'll say this to you, especially if you're in Nigeria. I posted something yesterday, this week, about a company that got funding. They got 22 million. Yes, you see, this is not 2.2. This is 2 years ago. And then recently, they got 22 million. If I will check very well, see their post. And this is it here. You can see a Nigerian fintech creditor has raised 22 million to solve problems. These are companies you want to reach out to. So you start to look out for this organization, because once they get funding, they start to recruit heavily. This is your smart cue to knowing when to reach out. They start to recruit heavily because they have roles. You can see they have growth products and all these roles are outside. Before you know it, they bring out more data roles. You want to look at people there, people working with them. You might be fortunate or lucky to find some people working in the organization and they are recruiters. Once you look at, somebody recruiting for them, or even all these guys, literally, you can look out for them. Look at the people working with the organization or who have been there before. Talk to them and connect. This is the point of connecting on LinkedIn. This is where you utilize your connections. You can find a recruiter customer experience or whatever. If she works there, you click on the name, people and culture, whatever it is, you connect with them and say, I notice your work, I love what you are doing, and so. You might not even go directly, just build friendship with them and call maybe later to send them a message that you'll be interested. Do you know if they are actively recruiting or not? Trust me, a lot of people will not answer you, just like my wife said earlier. They would not everybody will answer you, but you are not interested in everybody. You just want one yes. Once you get a yes, that's fine. So do this, pay attention to companies that are funding. You can even type, funding or something like that, maybe not funding groups. You want to use those messages to filter out, you see, organizations that have just raised funds. Maybe they just came out of a funding round and all sort of things. Grant and fund available. You see, I saw another one yesterday where somebody posted that they just received £400,000 and for people at a particular thing, and they are looking out for businesses that needs funds to do their stuff. So again, pay attention to companies that receive fundings. Like I've just given you an example. During the week, you find a lot of this. Once you start to get companies that fund, that just receive funding, trust me, this is your pointer to the fact that they will be recruiting anytime. So pay attention, build the relationship early, even before you need them. And with that, you can get remote opportunities. Some companies are also remote first. Look out for that. Build relationship again. Post your work frequently. Put yourself out there. I read a post today from, if I remember the name, and I will tell you. And it talked about, making sure that the light is shining on you so that they can see you visibly. And I was talking about, is it Peter Sainsbury, the owner of Sainsbury in 1928, that he built that? And he said what he noticed when all shops selling stuff is that they are usually dark, or maybe they close early because there are no lights there, And he says lit up everywhere. So his focus was to light up everywhere so they can see that we are active always and that we are there. And once you make sure that, so how do you put a light on your own profile these days? You put yourself online, be visible. If you reach out to somebody, sometimes to connect with them, trust me, they will look at your profile. Some of you might have sent requests to me and I look at your profile before I accept your connection to even see. They usually warn us. They warn me, don't accept connections from anyone you don't know because they are doubting if their profile is all right. So imagine you are connecting with someone, there's high tendency they will check your profile up. Okay, so you want to make sure your profile is optimized so that when they read over your profile and they see what you have been discussing, they know if they want to connect with you or not. It is the reason why some of you are still waiting on the connection message or as being accepted and is not being accepted till today. So I don't know. I know we've been experiencing a lag between what you are seeing on LinkedIn, and I can get few responses here, and I know that. Oh, yeah. So if you have questions, you can start putting them here. I'll just wait for your questions to pop in on LinkedIn, and you can also reach out to me. Like I said, there are more opportunities here for you if you're a data professional to build with LCFA. So London Center for Analytics is there for you to actually, let me see, to build your skill. If you lack, the skills required, or you are struggling, you are just trying to switch into data, you want to add it to your current skill as an HR person, a customer sales marketing person, there are opportunities for you. Just reach out, visit this link, or call the phone number if you're in the UK. Now, there are a lot of opportunities for you, like I said, and you can see a lot of professionals who have made it through this opportunity created from LCFA and through their partners. Now, this is it. You see, a lot of people are getting results and they can tell you about their roles, how they transition from one point to another. So if you're interested, just do reach out, send a message to me, send a message to LCFA. You can book a free coaching call or free clarity call to know where you belong and what you need, which program will be the best for you. The world is changing and a lot of jobs will go, as I've always said on my posts in the past, that new jobs have been created and it's being driven by AI and data. So you want to get yourself plugged in with these skills. We have different programs. We have the boot camp, we have the accelerator program, we have the lift program that I've been talking about here. And the lift program is actually is a combination of this. And the whole idea is for you to transform your experience and your knowledge into the real world. That is all you are gaining, the skills you are gaining to use it to solve problems for an organization. Then knowing fully well how to plug it back into your CVs and having an accountability system, mentors and managers that you report to on your journey. Okay. Thank you very much. Because of our time is 2 hours on this call, and I think this is where we end it. For everyone who has waited for us, stayed with us from the beginning to this, and for some of you missed this call, I think there's an opportunity to rewatch them. Okay, and thanks to our guests, myself included. And I must say that it's been an awesome evening for me to share knowledge and for us to actually share deeply what we have been using so that others can use that same method. And I can see we have stayed actively through the from the beginning till now. So I must say thank you very much for your time. Okay. The LinkedIn page has been shared on the chat. So you want to look at it, you can click on this and reach out to Brook section. And I have a call, clarity call. It's free, so you can know where you belong and what program will be the best for you. And thanks for the OC's LCFA, and we need to talk about the opportunity because, like I said earlier, you can have all these strategies, but if your CV it's not in the right shape, that is, you lack the experience that is needed, you might not, no matter how optimize the CVs, if you don't have the right skills, you might struggle. So you want to make sure that all that is in place, okay? And then you're able to build on it as you meet mentors. On this journey, it could be very difficult. Rejection letters are normal. I mean, it's not something we love. I was there. Heartbreaking, is disheartening. It could also quench your fire if you are not careful. That's why you need that community. You need mentors, people you can run to when the going gets tough and it's becoming very difficult. Okay, so people, thanks a lot for your time, and it's been an awesome time chatting with everyone here and having your feedback. Thank you very much for staying through. Thank you. I hope this is not a waste of your time. Again, there are other things, looking at the lift system, your connection. I mentioned it. Now use up that connection every week. 100 connections every week. Connect with recruiters, connect with business owners, founders, CTOs, headhunters, HR persons from different organizations, connect with professionals on the same journey with you, mentors, use them up, build your followers and connections. Again, these are the people that will engage with your posts as you share your knowledge so that they can also help you to trend, not really trend, but to make it visible. Excuse me, the more your posts get impressions, you can tell that a lot of people are seeing your posts, Imagine the idea around the impression that some people actually, they saw the post. Maybe they didn't engage. So imagine that your post that shows your skills has gone to 1,000,000 or 100,000 people within a month. What do you think? That means you are gaining visibility. Sooner or later, the right person will find you. Okay. Thank you very much again. If you have questions, you can just drop it on the chat box or just message me privately and message me, my wife, for anything. If you need help, in project management and how you weave in your data analytics skills into project management, what are the tools you need to learn? How do you scale in? If you need a mentorship and guidance as well, I'm always available. Just drop a message and I'll get back to you. Yes, I think this is where we end it today. Do have a great evening.